Hello everyone, I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lines TV. Welcome to another News Daily video in regards to Callum, Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic. Now, I'm going to start off the video by giving you guys the news from today, and afterwards I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on what I think about both of these stories. But if you like the content I bring, and if you like this video, smash that like button, help me get more than 500 likes for today's video, and press the bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Lines TV. One more quick thing for tomorrow, you guys. I'm going to have to release the match review at a much later date. I am going to be in Amsterdam in the early afternoon, so don't expect the match review until much later in the evening. But anyway, you guys, getting straight into things, I'm going to start by giving you the news stories on what's been happening in regards to both players. Now, news is coming out that Bayern Munich have made a second bid already today, upping their bid from 13.5 million euros plus clauses to 20 million. Reports came out earlier stating that Chelsea have placed a 25 million valuation on Hudson-Odoi, but it seems like Bayern Munich are really stepping up on things because they want to sign him in time for the January window. Now, this report has been coming out from Germany and from Sky and from the Daily Mail. Now, Chelsea's original valuation was around 22.5 to 25 million, but I guess as time goes on, we're going to find out whether Bayern Munich are offering 20 million upfront or if they're going to pay the fee off over time. Now, early reports have been coming out because things are intensifying in regards to clubs wanting to sign Hudson-Odoi. Borussia Dortmund are another club interested in signing Hudson-Odoi, and reports came out earlier over this month stating that they were hoping to do a player swap deal including money for Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi. But Chelsea have turned that down, and originally Chelsea wanted to sell Hudson-Odoi if it meant that there was going to be a buyback fee stated in the deal. But it's looking like if the club do pay the money Chelsea want, Hudson-Odoi is free to go. And let's be serious, the club don't really have too much power when it comes to this because the guy hasn't signed a long-term deal. And from my personal opinion, don't take this as fact, but I feel like Bayern's new bids could be enough to sign the player on a permanent. As I said, I will give my thoughts and opinions at the end. Now, I'm going to move on to Christian Pulisic, and reports coming out from Germany and from England are stating that we've agreed a pre-agreement of £45 million for Pulisic to be able to sign him in the summer. Now, the reports are stating that we tried to sign him in time for the January window, but Dortmund don't want to sell, and they're okay to reduce the fee they want for Pulisic if Chelsea agree to sign him in the summer. Now, there does seem to be more proof in regards to us agreeing a move for Pulisic. Now, it's come out from Eddie Johnson, who was a former football player, who is now a current coach, who actually congratulated Pulisic in a social media post. And on top of that, Pulisic's dad, Mark Pulisic, who does have a Twitter page if you guys want to follow him, he started following quite a lot of Chelsea players and the Chelsea account as well. And normally when you see this happening, it does give you further evidence and proof that it looks like this deal is happening. Now, of course, there has been quite a lot of interest from other teams for Pulisic, with Liverpool being one of the prime candidates, but it's looking like Pulisic is going to be joining Chelsea. Now, here's where I give my thoughts and opinions, and wow, what crazy news that's come out today. I was planning my trip to Amsterdam tomorrow. I was not expecting news like this throughout the day, and of course, I'm extremely disappointed. Now, I released that video a few weeks ago in regards to the end and, you know, everything happening at Chelsea behind the scenes, and I told you guys back then that talks had broken down between Hudson-Odoi, his dad and his agent with Marina. Now, obviously, a lot of people did not believe me, but it seemed like it was quite definitive when I was told this, and it's really no surprise to me that other clubs are stepping up their efforts to sign Hudson-Odoi. Now, it is pretty crazy. It gets you thinking, Hudson-Odoi's barely played any football, yet a club like Bayern Munich want to invest so much money to secure his services. And of course they would, because Hudson-Odoi is a fantastic player, and let's be serious, in terms of all the attacking players the academy has produced, you'd have to say that Hudson-Odoi is probably the best one yet. Yet even when he's the best one the club have produced, it's still not enough to give this guy game time, even when guys like Willian and Pedro are on the decline. They clearly can't press hard and work hard for 90 minutes plus, week in, week out. I mean, they're in their 30s. Yet we constantly undermine and underrate our own products. And can you really blame Hudson-Odoi for wanting to take his future into his own hands? Of course not. I mean, the club are trying to offer this guy a loan move. Clubs like Burnley and Southampton? Are you serious? And why the hell, if you're Hudson-Odoi, would you even trust what the clubs say in regards to planning your career out with loan moves when it hasn't worked for barely anyone? Now, you might be thinking, Nini, why would Hudson-Odoi want to go? If he doesn't want to commit to us, let him leave. Why do you care? But you have to think about the bigger picture and the long term. And again, it's another big failure of Marina. She hasn't been able to persuade Hazard to sign a new contract, and she can't even keep the club's best young player in how many years? And it's very easy to me, it's very simple. If you want Hudson-Odoi to stay, guarantee this guy some game time. Listen, I don't care about, oh, he has to prove himself and all this boring nonsense you constantly hear every single time from fans. The guy can't prove himself if he isn't going to get game time. How good does he have to be to get that game time? Every single time. Managers with their pragmatic ways of thinking, always looking at what the player doesn't have compared to what they have. How many Europa League games and Cup games has Hudson-Odoi not played in? And it's like, why? What was the real excuse as to why Sarri couldn't use him? Look how weak these teams were. Now, I can imagine other things people might say, like, why does Hudson-Odoi want to leave? Pulisic is signed for the right hand side, not for the left. Hudson-Odoi can still play, but again, so many things you're not thinking about. Number one, you can only have 11 players on the pitch at the same time. And two, we've got a guy called Eden Hazard. Now, do the club really think Hudson-Odoi is stupid enough to really fall for that proposal? Of course not. There's no guarantees. And that's one thing the club just don't want to give to any of our youth players. But when it comes to any other club and their young guys, we're happy to give them those same guarantees. I'm sorry, this is no offense to any American viewer. Of course, you guys know me. I'm not one of those idiots that has those like stereotypical views on American football fans. So I don't want anyone taking my critique of Pulisic into heart. And yes, I understand the context in regards to Pulisic. Yes, injury concerns and his current contract situation. He hasn't played as much, but compare him to guys like Dembele and Sancho. Can you really say that this guy has outperformed both those players? Of course not. And the guy's still raw. He's only just turned 20. In my opinion, I feel this move to us is way too premature. I think that he should have stayed there for at least another 2-3 seasons. He could have left them at 22, 23, become the undisputed star player, which he hasn't been at all yet. The guy's coming from a big fee, and it gets me thinking so many things. Number one, and this really pisses me off the most, we've always needed someone with the left foot down that right hand side, yet we're signing Pulisic. Now, I could be very premature. I don't know what this means now for our current transfer plans. Maybe we're planning to still sign 2 players, and maybe Pulisic is like the young protege the club want to work on. But even then, that hypocrisy every single time. We'd rather focus on producing another young player produced from another club instead of already focusing on our own. And this is big news. The fact that our best player wants to leave the club, what does that mean for other players? What does that mean for Mason Mount? Is he going to feel more confident to come back and try and fight for his place? Of course not. Can Chelsea even offer this guy a pathway into the team? Of course they won't, because the youth players just aren't valued. And in my opinion, I'm happy that Hudson-Odoi is leaving, because the club needs to wake up. Now, earlier today, I was tweeting my thoughts and opinions on Twitter, and of course you can never really give your full thoughts because you're only limited to the amount of characters you can use, but I was very critical of our board and of Roman. Now, people were telling me, oh, you need to appreciate Roman, he's done so much for us. Yeah, of course I understand that, but why should that mean that he still can't face criticism? That's ridiculous, and I feel like we don't need to have this Wenger-like nonsense at this club. Well, just because we've won stuff under him, it means he's immune to future criticism? Of course not. But the main reason as to why I criticize him is for how the club's being run, because let's be serious, Marina is in complete control so far. Roman has his own issues he's dealing with right now. The main reason as to why he even gave Marina the hand to the club is because he trusted her enough to run things when he wasn't there, because the guy doesn't want to focus all of his attentions on the club due to other pressing concerns in his life. And that's the thing. My issue with Marina isn't because she's a woman. Of course not. That's stupid. We're gonna be in 2019 and I'm a very progressive person. But my main issue is she isn't a footballing person, and that isn't me saying that because she's a woman. That's me saying that because she's like every other owner in Premier League clubs. They're business people that don't care about the sport. Every decision they make is on the financial gain, the most profitable deal, etc, etc. And this is why our club haven't reached the same heights we always thought they would reach when Roman first took over. It comes down to footballing decisions like this. With Hudson-Odoi leaving, what does this mean for any other young player at Chelsea? Do you really think they're going to be serious enough to consider having their futures at Chelsea? Of course not. And it's like, why is Pulisic even deemed the guy worthy enough for the club to focus their attentions on developing him? The guy isn't anywhere close to being the undisputed star player at the club. But why is it the club are focusing their attentions on developing this guy over Hudson-Odoi? It's a massive gamble to spend this amount of money. Chelsea have never had a history so far recently of developing any young kid around this age and turning him into a world-class player. Now with Eden Hazard, yes, the guy was already world-class already. He was in that Neymar bracket, one of the guys that only comes around once every 10 years. But realistically, he could have really gone on further in his career if he had the right conditions at the club. But I don't understand that hypocrisy. Hudson-Odoi is going to be 19 years old soon. He's only going to be 1 year behind Pulisic. You're really telling me because Pulisic has played against teams like Frankfurt that he's ready for Chelsea? I would love to know why Chelsea felt the need to spend 50 million euros on Pulisic instead of giving the game time to Hudson-Odoi, where it feels like you could have saved 50 million and we could have used that 50 million on other targets like a striker or a better right winger. If you're spending that amount of money, I want to see a top guy coming in like a Pepe or an Ousmane Dembele. But spending this amount of money on a guy that isn't consistently good. Now the reason why I keep making this comparison all the time with Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi is to really stress the lack of parity. Why can't Hudson-Odoi play down the right hand side? I'm sorry, but the fact that Bayern Munich are spending so much money and making such a big effort to sign this guy says everything about his quality. Yet we didn't do enough to guarantee him the game time, to persuade him to stay and sign with us. And I don't understand why we weren't able to. I mean, all the efforts we've put into signing Pulisic over all these months, I'm sure we sold him a great dream. But your own club prospects, you couldn't sell to him and his team and his family why his future needs to be at the club. And this is really significant. This is potentially the best youth player we've produced, leaving because he knows that he won't have a future at Chelsea. Yet we're a club that will happily give game time to declining players like Willian and Pedro and spend 50 million on unproven targets. Now, yes, I understand that Pulisic could have more financial merit for the club, but really, I don't want to patronize the player and I don't want to really talk about that in today's video. But this is where my criticism falls down to Roman, because you've given the power and license to people at Marina who's deciding what to do by having guys like Scott involved, and there's no sporting ambition anymore. And it's come at a detriment to our sporting success. Number one, we've needed someone down the right hand side with the left foot. I'm sorry, people might use the argument, oh, with Sarri, he had Callejon down the right hand side. Are you forgetting we have Pedro that uses his left foot? And use your own eyes and make your own opinion. We've desperately needed someone down the right who can cut inside since Robin. But this stupid club can't even rectify that one issue. Have they not even realised how much Willian has struggled playing down the right hand side over these years? And we need more goals in the team. Is Pulisic going to give us 20 goals next season? Of course not. And it gets you thinking, could Pulisic be a potential replacement for Eden Hazard? And it's like, wow, imagine this guy leaves, instead of spending the money on a big name player to replace him, like what guys like Barcelona did with Neymar, selling him, signing Ousmane Dembele, making a big statement. Instead, we're signing a guy that Dortmund are happy to sell because they've got a better player, in my opinion, in Sancho. And what I really found funny was the fact that Dortmund have even tried to do a swap deal involving Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic, which really says everything for you. But these types of sporting decisions at this club can't be made anymore by business people that have no sporting acumen. This is why we need a director of football desperately, because the people at the top need to hear some footballing sense. The way in which we're recruiting players is pretty stupid in my opinion. How many shit players have we signed recently that haven't improved the team and we're struggling to get rid of? Our three massive big buys, Bakayoko, Drinkwater and Morata, all going only after being here for one season. They cost us about 150 million for these three players, and the board have been taking way more L's than wins. But is Roman going to do something? Of course not. They're his friends, they're his cronies. He's given full responsibility and trust to these people, and it's just another failure. We can't secure Hazard, he's not committing just yet. Hudson-Odoi wants to go. The stadium was a complete flop. So much money wasted on the planning and development and everything for it to end up being nothing. And on top of that, all the years of missing out on Champions League football, all the years of spending stupid money, on players that Mourinho and Conte want, only for these guys to completely waste them due to their stupid, useless tactical systems. When you don't run things properly, you always affect yourself in the future, and we're seeing it now. I mean, it makes no sense why you just don't sign the guy. I mean, I can imagine with all the interest that clubs had in Pulisic that we had competition for his signature. We had to really go out and really sell to him why he should sign for us. But you're telling me we can do that for another player that isn't ours? But for a player already on the club's books, that's such a struggle? Give the guy game time. He's good enough. Why do our best players need to go through these stupid tests to prove they're ready for Chelsea when we use shit guys like Willian, Pedro? We've seen players like Bakayoko get way more game time than any of our best youth players. We've seen us struggle with guys like Torres and Morata because we spent stupid amounts of money on them. Honestly, I'm fed up. This makes no sense to me. Honestly, Callum, good luck to you in the future. I think that at Bayern Munich could be fantastic there. I mean, the guy's moving to a better team. He's going to play alongside Alaba, Lewandowski, Thiago, James Rodriguez. This is effectively our Pogba moment. Is there a possibility Hudson-Odoi won't be a top player? I mean, no. The guy is destined for the top because he is that good. And again, it's another time we've let guys like Mata, De Bruyne, Salah and Lukaku all leave. We're not going to learn, and to be honest, we're not going to reach our full potential until Roman takes responsibility, gets back to his old self and brings in a new board. Anyway, you guys, as you can see, I'm pretty passionate and a bit angry by this news I'm covering. Give me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Thank you for watching. Honestly, I'm going to do another video on this when I can collect my thoughts a bit more. Of course, I'm really speaking from the dome in this video, and every time, everything I do is written in a script. So sorry for the video being so long, but anyway, thank you for watching. I'm the FC, this is Blue Line CV. Come on, Roman, take responsibility again.